what's going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well, and I apologize for such a random type of video today. Today, I don't know how long or short this video is gonna be, it just kind of depends on how long I stay alive, but today I just wanted to go back and revisit a rather simple map in the history of Call of Duty Zombies, this being Bus Depot, and furthermore, I wanted this to just kind of pay homage to all of these simple maps in Call of Duty Zombies, whether that be Nocturne, Toten, or honestly, I can't even think of that many other simple maps in Call of Duty Zombies. I'm talking about the bare essentials, like the very bare bones zombies maps. There's something that I always loved. I mean, I guess to a certain extent, something like maybe Verrückt or maybe Shi No Numa could kind of fit into this, but not really. Those zombies maps where they are just so simple to where it's literally you just dive in and that's it. It's just you, your guns, you try to survive, and that's it. Don't get me wrong, I'm very glad that maps like Verrückt added things like perks or things like Shi No Numa where they added like wonder weapons or the Pack-a-Punch into Reese, or heck, even more complicated things like all the Easter egg quests and all that other stuff that we got in later Call of Duty Zombies games. But there really is something to be said about these just classic laid-back experiences where it literally is just you, your skill, the guns, that's it. And that's part of why anytime it comes to like world records or high round attempts, some of my favorite ones to watch are from like Nocturne, Toten, or Bus Depot, just because it's so skill dependent. You go down in 2 hits, there's no Pack-a-Punch, the Type 25, alright, and it just comes down to you, your skill, your wits, and maybe even partial like RNG, depending on if you get the ray gun or the Mark II or not. I know for a map specifically like Nocturne, Toten, after a while it kind of like the skill factor kind of like leaves and it just kind of comes down to like your ability to maintain the it's not really the ammunition but like the overheating counter on the flamethrower. The only reason I revisit Bus Depot more than Nocturne, Toten when I want that like super stripped back like simple zombies experience is simply due to the fact that rounds on Nocturne, Toten, even on like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, take forever to get going, and even once they do get going, it's just the progression is so much slower on that map compared to anything else. So that's kind of why I gravitate towards something like Bus Depot rather than Nocturne, Toten. But hey, I still love Nocturne, Toten. I still play that map like crazy. It's just that anytime I play Noct, I know I have to set aside like basically an entire hour because of how long it's gonna take me just to get to around 20 alone. I know you can speed up the process with like Gobblegums on Black Ops 3, but if I'm gonna be honest, I haven't used a single Mega Gobblegum in Black Ops 3 in probably 2 or 3 years. Whenever I play Black Ops 3, I only use classic Gobblegums. I never use Megas. Now, there's nothing wrong with using Mega Gobblegums. It's just, it kind of makes, I don't want to say it makes things too easy, but it's rather that I just prefer to work for my progression in Call of Duty Zombies. Don't get me wrong, when I'm speedrunning or when I'm simply trying to, you know, get like an Easter egg done really fast or just something like that, then yeah, sure, you know, it's cool to just pop a couple Megas and go for it. But even then, in the Easter egg sense, I really like to just kind of work for it. And again, I have to stress, I am not dissing Megas as a whole. I do, in fact, use them. It's just that I only use them in very specific situations, and I prefer to not use them, but to each their own. Like, there's nothing wrong with them, of course. Isn't it sad that we live in an age of the internet where even at something as simple as that, I have to stress that I'm not actively attacking it just so then people don't attack me in the comments? That's the reason I don't use social media. It's funny, when I was a bit younger, you know, I don't even remember what year it was, but whenever like Instagram was really popping off and like Snapchat was first getting big, you know, I was all about it. I was like, oh yeah, let me make an Instagram account, let me make a Snapchat account. And nowadays, as a full-grown adult, I don't even use that stuff. Like when I made my first couple accounts or when that stuff was really getting big was when I would have been in like middle school. Like back when I was in middle school, that was when Instagram still had their old logo where it was like that camera or whatever. It was before it became like the rainbow looking thing that it is now. That's the Instagram we had back in the day. I'm also old enough to say that I did have a MySpace page at one point, so you know, there's that. I also apologize if you guys can hear all like the clicking and clacking every time that I use the dual pistols. It's just like, look, you know, I really love these weapons and I mean, I can't help it. I'm playing okay, man, right now. You guys know me. I'm more of a controller guy. Like anytime that I'm playing games in my free time, I'm always on controller or my console setup over on the other side of the room. It's just that sometimes when it comes to making videos, it can be a bit easier just to do some of this stuff on PC. Not always, and it does depend on the game, but for Call of Duty specifically, sometimes, yeah, it can be a bit easier than like, you know, setting up certain consoles or switching out other plugs over there. What was I even talking about? I don't even know. Oh yeah, all the stuff with social media. Yeah, you know, like I said, when I was younger, I used to be all about that stuff. I used to waste my days on it, but nowadays, I don't, like, I still have social media accounts just because obviously I'm a YouTuber. I need to have ways to connect with my audience and talk to people, but in terms of like personal accounts, I don't use my personal accounts. The only time I use my, you know, like YouTuber social media or whatever is simply to advertise videos, maybe respond to some comments. If you want to count YouTube as a social media, then yeah, sure, technically I use it every day because I do upload videos every day, but that's very different in my mind. Like the only like interactions I do on YouTube are in my own comment section. Even then, I don't reply to the negative comments. I literally just like glance at them and then I don't even give them a second thought and I just kind of click away because like, you know, I know better than to let those things affect me or my mindset or my day in any capacity. Oh no, how do I use monkey bombs? See, I wanted to use monkey bombs, but I couldn't see see, this is another reason that I prefer to play on console, because it's so like unintuitive trying to figure out what keys do what over here. We died on what, round 10? I guess we'll just go into custom games and start up in round 10 and see how far we can keep going. As you can see, I didn't change anything else. We're just going in on round 10. I must stress that that was not my fault. I need to figure out what the keybinds are for Monkey Bombs, because I would have been fine if I didn't know what that was. Mystery box. Oh yes, now it gives me the War Machine. Okay, so we had decent box luck this last time, and now it's just gonna give me garbage. Oh, and then it gives me the S12 right after. Okay, so it's gonna be one of those matches. The Rega. Okay, you know what? I can work with this. Hey, also funny story. I apologize as if there was like any weird cuts in the video or if anything looks different now. Basically, my camera ran out of storage because and I ended up going down. That's the one thing I always say when you're a YouTuber. There's always gonna be technical difficulties, and even though yes, I am slightly annoyed, you know, it's just gotta keep the composure, gotta keep the peace of mind. Round 10, let's do this again. But as I was saying, like, I don't even read negative comments anymore. Like, I kind of glance at them, but I don't give them, like, even the slightest time of day or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I've been doing this for so long, I know not to let that stuff get to me, nor did it ever really get to me in the first place anyway. You know, I've always known to not let what I see online get to me, because it's like, it's so petty, like, who cares? It's like, oh no, some random person that I don't know or don't even care about has an opinion about me online. You know, this person that I'm never gonna meet, this person that I do not care about in the slide. Okay, you know what? I held F on that MTAR, and for some reason, it did not let me pick it up. If I'm not able to get this, I will actually kind of be upset. Yeah, you know what? Alright, I'm a little upset right now. I also can't stand, like, debates and fighting online. Like, I'll never understand those people that spend their days fighting in comment sections or, like, actually getting mad or annoyed by things that, again, random strangers say online. It's like, how little is going on in your life that is what you're gonna care about, that's what you're gonna worry about and spend your time doing. It's one of those things that genuinely makes me sad for humanity as a whole. It's like, this is the stuff that bothers people. Maybe I'm just thicker skinned, you know? Yeah, I hate playing the pity card, but, you know, I have been through a good bit in my life. So maybe it's just a matter of the fact that, like, hey, you know, I've been through a lot of stuff, so, you know, I know better than to let the small things affect me, or maybe it's just different mindset. I'm not really sure. A lot of people just seem to be going soft nowadays, and it's, I don't know, I mean, people have always kind of been soft to a certain extent, but it's like a different kind of soft nowadays, you know what I mean? One thing I will say, when you're playing these maps without perks, you can really tell that you don't have, like, double tap too, because obviously that, like, doubles your damage, and yeah, you have to, like, really spam for a lot longer than usual some of these weapons. Now, if I could get a ray gun or something like that again, I would really appreciate that, despite the fact that it literally led to my death last time. Because see, look, the first death, that was, like, kind of my fault, kind of the game's fault. I mean, I couldn't even figure out what the Monkey Bomb keybind was, and for some reason, the keybind for your special grenades changes between Call of Duty games. And then last time I went down due to ray gun splash damage, but that was also because I was, like, trying to, like, get back into the game after having to pause to fix my camera stuff, so that was, you know, that could be either me or the game's fault. No, you know what? It was neither. It was my camera's fault for being absolute garbage and having, like, no storage. But this time, if I go down, you know what? I'll have nobody else to blame besides me. Actually, you know what? Now that I have EMPs, what in the world? No, yeah, see, I can't figure out, like, what the keybind is for the Monkey Bombs or for the secondary grenades. I'm not gonna lie, the other night, I booted up my Xbox 360 and I hopped into a match of Keener der Toten, and as soon as I unlocked the Easter egg song 115, I literally burst into tears. Every time that I hear the first couple notes of that song, you know, with the guitar riffing and everything like that, it takes me back to such a simpler time, such an arguably, you know, I hate saying a better time, because, you know, things, when you're, oh my gosh, are you kidding me, dudes? I'm actually kind of getting frustrated right now. When you're thinking back to times of your life, it's really easy to just focus on the positives, but, like, if I think back to my past during the time when I would have been playing this game, things were actually terrible, and in a lot of ways worse for me than they are now. We're bumping it up to around 15. We'll see what happens. But regardless, I feel like as human beings, it's only natural to be retrospective and introspective and to always be looking back at the past and just remembering fond times. Even if there were some circumstances where, like, hey, maybe some things were worse at the times, it's one of those things where, like, the positives just outweighed the negatives so much that you don't even care about what was wrong at the time just because of how high those highs were. All those all-nighters that I pulled with my friends on Black Ops 2, or the all-nighters that I pulled when we used to do, like, sleepovers during, like, Black Ops 1 and stuff. I remember me and my one friend, we literally pulled an all-nighter playing Black Ops 1 Zombies, and it was, I'll never forget, his mom came to pick him up the next morning. He was like literally half asleep walking out the door, so we stayed up all night. We were bouncing between, like, Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3. I remember specifically, we played a ton of Modern Warfare 3 Survival, and then, yeah, we ran a couple games of, like, Kino and Nocturne Toten on Black Ops 1. I remember all the sniper clans that I used to be in back in the day, and that's one of the reasons that that I love these simple zombies maps so much, it's because not only is the maps themselves simple, but simply playing them is enough to take you back to those simpler times, because again, the map itself and premise is just so simple that you have that time to relax, your mind gets to kind of like, I don't know, wander off for a bit, whereas if you're playing a more complicated map like Mob of the Dead or Origins, you don't really get the time to do that, because your mind is fully engaged with the map the whole time, like, okay, I need to get this part for the plane, I need to build this thing for the staff rest. With these casual maps, you know, whether you're playing alone or with your friends, you're just kind of, your mind's just kind of going, and that takes me back to those simpler times where that's where life just, you know, that's kind of like what life was. It was very simple, or at the time it at least seemed simple, or at least in retrospect seemed simple. Again, were things actually simple at the time? You know, when I sit there thinking about it, no, you know, a lot of things were actually worse, but at the same time, looking back at it in retrospect, you know, the positives were so positive, the simple times were so simple, to where it's like, yeah, you know, I really do miss that stuff, and that's part of the magic, part of the beauty, and the simplicity of, you know, some of these Call of Duty Zombies maps. Specifically, some of these older ones that were just much more simple, like Bus Depot or Nocturne Totem. Like, these two specifically are some of the ones that I point to where it's just like, they're so simple to where when you're playing, your mind really can go nowhere else besides those nostalgic feel-good feelings, because, I mean, you know, the maps in themselves are obviously super nostalgic, so the whole time you're playing it, you're gonna be flooded with those magical nostalgic feelings, and it's one of those things where, man, I've put thousands of hours into Black Ops 2, and that is no exaggeration over the years. I mean, I've had, you know, 12 years at this point to do it, so of course. But seriously, I love this game so much, and not only do I love this game, but I love the memories and the feelings and just everything tied and associated to it, all the friendships that I've had over the years, all the sniper clans I've been in over the years. Call of Duty Zombies to me has always been more than a game, you know, it's a community, it's a feeling, it's a memory, it's nostalgia, it's everything. Call of Duty Zombies, the game, is one thing, but obviously it goes much more beyond that, whether it be the community, the YouTubers, the friendships, the memories, the all-nighters, everything. I don't know, with the release of Modern Warfare 3, don't get me wrong, I've been loving zombies in that game, you know, I got like over 200 hours in it or something like that. I'm not talking in Modern Warfare 3 as a whole, I'm literally just talking in zombies alone. In multiplayer, it's like another like 200 hours or something like that. Like, I played a lot of Modern Warfare 3. I really do love that game. But the more I play it, the more I'm like, man, I really wish we had like a round-based experience this year, because, you know, funnily enough, most of the time when I'm playing Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, it's because I'm grinding out camos for like new weapons, because obviously I got both Interstellar and Borealis during Season 0 of Modern Warfare 3, like before Season 1 even came out. There it is, there's another death. I said it earlier, I'm more of a controller guy. Anytime I'm playing on KBAM, I don't care how lazy the excuse sounds, I'm gonna do worse. I don't play on this control scheme that often. But I got Interstellar and Borealis back during Season 0 of Modern Warfare 3, so anytime that I'm playing Modern Warfare 3 and I'm grinding camos, it's literally just like the new weapons that came out of the game. Like, a little bit ago, they added the Soul Render to the game, so I was using that sword for a while, got that like Interstellar and Borealis and stuff like that. So most of the time when I'm playing the game, I'm not even playing the game the way that they want me to, like constantly exfilling, doing contracts. I'm literally just like grinding the exfils and just shooting zombies. And there's been plenty of times where I'm just trying to level up my battle pass or something, so I'll just hop into zombies and just sit at the exfil and just like run around and shoot zombies for like the entirety of the game for that 45 minutes to an hour until the storm gets too close and I exfil, get a couple tiers for it, get some XP, and, you know, that's really that. Call of Duty Zombies, whether we're talking about, you know, simple maps like Bus Depot, or whether we're talking about more complicated maps like, you know, any other the other maps out there, you know, it's just such a magical mode. But today I just kind of wanted to hone in and specifically talk about the beautiful simplicity of these, well, simpler, like Bus Depot, Nocturne Totem, again, being the other ones I can really think of, zombies maps. Apologies again for all the deaths in this video. If I was on controller, I'd have done a bit better, but I blame the control scheme. But anyway, as always, massive shout out, thank you to all the Patreons and channel members, thank you to all in the low baller tier, and a big shout out, thank you to all in the mid baller tier, Melo asking me Dynamite in the big shout out, thank you to all in the G tier, run events, on the Cheese Girl, thank you guys so much, guys, for literal legends, I love you. Thank you guys for watching, have an amazing day, stay beautiful, I love you all, peace.